Last time we stopped at Ayat 17, I believe. Okay, just quickly, Ayat 16 and 17, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به. O Prophet, do not move your tongue in haste with the Quran while receiving it, to hasten memorizing it. لتعجل به. إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه. Indeed, it is incumbent upon us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the gathering, the collect of the Quran in your heart. And quickly we said that the Prophet ﷺ, as everybody knows, he was illiterate, and this is a huge responsibility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveal ayat to him. And the unique thing about the Quran, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send it down, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send few ayat, and the ayat is not only from one surah. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he received few ayat, he would call people who write the Quran, and he say, put this ayah in this surah, before this ayah and after this ayah. And imagine you and I, when we try to memorize the Quran, how many times we go through the same thing and we forget and we come back and we try again. The Prophet ﷺ is illiterate, and it's being said to him once. And it is tremendously huge responsibility on his part. So as a human being, when Jibreel alayhi salam speak, he speak with him. He does not want to lose anything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comfort him. He say, don't do that. Okay? It is our responsibility. لا تحرك به لسانك. Wait patiently for the communication of the revelation. Wait until Jibreel say it, and it is our responsibility, Allah's responsibility, to preserve the Quran that is gonna be imprinted on your chest, and you're never gonna forget that. Don't rush your tongue to acquire it quickly. Just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Inna alayna jam'ahu wa Qur'ana. It is our responsibility. I do not want you to worry about it. Just concentrate on your mission. You're not going to forget anything. Everything will be imprinted in your heart. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. The only thing that you do when you hear Jibreel alayhi salam reciting it, pay attention. That's the most important thing. Do not worry about memorizing or forgetting this. ثم إن علينا بيانه. And again, it is incumbent upon us to ease for you its explanation. One of the unique thing about the Quran is not a science book. Alaikum salam. Like I said, the Quran is not a science book. The Quran is not chemistry book or physics book. But the unique thing about the Quran, although it is a religious book that guarantee that we live a good life here and the hereafter, but there are lots of hints in the Quran to teach us how to lead our life. It's not only a religious thing, okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he say, don't haste, don't rush. Huh? If you think at the beginning of the surah, Ayah 5, we say, بَلْ يُرِيدُ الْإِنسَانُ لِيَفْجُرَ أَمَامَهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about people who really do not care about this deen. They want to go without any boundaries. They just want to do whatever comes to their desire, and they want to explode. They want to explode in haram. So they rush to haram, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is rushing to what? To goodness. There is a tremendous difference between both of them. People rushing into haram and people rushing goodness. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the hadith, he say, everybody leave his house in the morning. كل الناس غاد. Everybody leave the house in the morning. Some people mean good and some people mean bad. فبائع نفسه فموبقها. The Prophet ﷺ is rushing for something good and the other people rushing for something bad. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned about even rushing in good things. You understand this? Here is the thing. When I know for certainty that this is the proper thing to do, yes, you rush to do it. You understand this? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, don't be emotional. Even for good things, make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. And this is a fact. This is a fact that we experience in this country. People, you get a text message or an email. This sister in Texas, there is something, their husband did this, and we want to contribute, and everybody rush to contribute, and it's whole hoax. You understand? At the end of the day. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, even for good causes, if you know for a fact that this is a good cause, yes, you rush to do it. But even for so good causes, and you see this all the time. You see this all the time in every Muslim community. There is a lady, something happened to her. There is a man, some place there, and we need help. And this is the site that everybody rush, everybody get emotional and do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say no, don't. Even with this, make sure that everything that you do, you're putting your money, you're putting your effort in the right place. And I'm not going to waste your time, but I can tell you, just in my own experience, we got burned hundreds of times.
But don't you get rewarded for your niyyah?
Huh?
You get rewarded.
No. There is niyyah and there is stupidity. Okay, you have to differentiate between them. Okay, I cannot say just to go blind. I say my niyyah is good. That's not the proper thing. We have, every one of us have limited resources. Okay, don't go by your niyyah. Okay, of course. In some cases, you have to go with your niyyah. Okay, because you have no way of clarifying the situation or knowing if it's true or not. But in most cases, that if you just wait. I'm going to tell you something. I get a call, and these people are doing this, a big name. They doing doing things in Africa. There is digging wells and stuff like this, and just a phone call, and I found out that the whole thing is hoax. But initially, you know, when you dig something like this, everybody who drink from this, you get hasanat. So initially, you can get very emotional and do things, and it's not the proper thing. Okay, in every case, tathabbatu, tabayyanu. Make sure that you're not hasting, you're not doing something that is not the proper thing. And the Quran is loaded with things like this. Just one example. I don't know if I told you about this in Surah Yusuf. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about when they had 7 years of good crops and then 7 years of drought. And how can they preserve the food? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, فَذَرُوهُ فِي سُنْبُلِهِ. Don't take it out of the shell. This is something. The Quran is not a physics book. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is revealing the Quran to make us how to preserve our food. But the beauty of the Quran, it has lots of good things if you look into it. And scientifically now, this is the best way to preserve all the grains. You understand? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet ﷺ did not elaborate on it or anything like this, but this is one of the things that we need to know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the religion before us, all the books before us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it the responsibility of the religious people to save it and to preserve it, except the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, it is my responsibility to keep it. And it is so unique when you see the majority of people who memorize the Quran, not the Arabs. Not the Arabs. Okay? This is a unique thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected, Allah preserved it in the chest of people and in books. You see books now, look at this. Every place, 2 billion things. The Quran is all over the place. Allah, you can never ever lose the Quran. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep it in the chest and also keep it in the books. So
go back to that, don't rush when you...
Huh?
Go back to that point when you
Okay.
said don't rush. Even
If you wanna, you can go rush. And leave me alone.
Now, how am I gonna know if it's me being rational and not rushing, or the shaitan is playing with my head so I don't give sadaqah or I don't do?
No. It is very easy. It is very easy. I get a request. If I have a way of making sure that this is legitimate,
Right.
don't let your emotion move you. You understand this? Make sure that this is legitimate. The problem with this, lots of people when they get burned, they stop altogether giving anything, and it's not good. You understand this? But if I have a way to clarify, to make sure that this is the situation, if I do not have any way, I cannot really find if this is legitimate or not. Yes, you use your intention and make istikhara, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you. But lots of things. Wallahi, I don't know if I told you or not, when we were in New Jersey, we were introduced to a newcomer to Islam, a woman. And she used to live between where I live and where I work. And we used to go with my wife and get all the shopping and stuff like this, and we'll leave it by her door, not even to annoy her or anything like this. That's for a long time. And one day I was shopping in a place called ShopRite. I saw a woman in a short, but she was introduced to us. She has the hijab and she has everything. She's in a short and her hair is all over the place. And looking at her face, I cannot miss it. And I froze, and she did for a few seconds. What the hell am I going to say? I mean, you just to move. But for a long time, we really thought that we're doing the proper thing. You understand this? But if you think about it, we should have done some homework. Okay, and again, when you get burned once or twice, you have doubt about everything, and it's not good. Okay, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, we not only gonna preserve the book, but we will take responsibility to clarify it, to be understood. But here is the thing. The understanding of the Quran change from generation to generation. You understand? And the beauty about that, the understanding that we have today, maybe another 2-3 generation coming, there will be a new understanding. But it's not gonna erase the old one. It's gonna be an addition to the old one. You understand this? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانَهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as science progress and the people get to understand more and more and more about the universe. There are lots of things that the companions and the people after the companions did not know. But they knew enough for their work at that time. ثم إن علينا بيانا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, He say, سنقرئك فلا تنسى. We will make you, you will hear it, and we will make you recite it, and you will never forget. By the way, the Prophet ﷺ, he did forget, but intentionally. In one prayer once, he mixed up things, and after the prayer, he said, why didn't you correct me? So the Prophet ﷺ wanted to teach the companions that if I say something wrong from memorization, correct me. And they say, Ya Rasulullah, we thought that this is amr from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he did it to teach us as an ummah, if the imam make a mistake, you have to correct him. So Allah سنقرئك فلا تنسى. Now, one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, and this is something that we need to understand. When you and I read the Quran, don't conclude anything on your own. You understand this? What does this mean? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about a specific subject, you cannot go and find an ayah and you say this is the answer. You cannot do that. Because you have to gather every single ayah that talk about that subject. You understand this? And it is not you and me who are qualified to do this. Okay? And if you look at most of the what we call these extreme groups, if you take Al-Qaeda or ISIS or whatever it is, even if these things, I have tremendous doubt about the intention who really started all these groups, but that's a different story. These people start their theology and the whole philosophy about their movement based on one ayah. Especially Surah Al-Tawbah, if everybody knows Surah Al-Tawbah. Surah Al-Tawbah is one of the surah that was revealed for a specific thing, totally specific thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the talk is very, very tough, but if you do not understand what we call ilm al-tanzil, asbab al-tanzil, when this ayah was revealed and for what, you understand? You cannot just go. And the same thing goes with the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. It's something very important. The Prophet ﷺ, there is a hadith in Al-Bukhari, and he prevent men and women to go to the graveyard. That's the hadith. So if you go take this hadith and teach people that this haram, you're going to go to the hellfire if you do this, it's not true. The Prophet, another hadith which comes after this, he say, I prevented you for a reason, now you go. You understand this? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه ثم إن علينا بيانه. بيانه, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give that knowledge to people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trust. It's not everybody. Not you and I can go to the Quran and draw conclusion. That's not our job. Our job is to read and understand and digest what the ulama, the good ulama talk about the Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, if you go and pick one ayah and you say this is what Allah said, that's not it. ثم إن علينا بيانه. And if you look, all these groups, the extreme groups, all of them, and that extreme group not only unique in Islam, every religion is the same thing. People who have that حروب الصليبية, what's حروب الصليبية, the Crusaders. The Crusaders, all these people that took something from their book which is isolated and made that thing about it.
Mark, one question, brother, about the graveyard. The permission he gave, is it just for men and women cannot go anymore, or is for everyone?
No, originally, the Prophet ﷺ, you have to understand that the Arabs, they really think of the graveyard as something sacred. It was almost like they worship it. You understand this? And the Prophet ﷺ at the beginning, because people were very close to the time of Jahiliyyah, he say nobody, not only women, neither men or women goes. And then Allah subhanahu the Prophet he say, ألا قد كنت نهيتكم عن زيارة القبور ألا فزوروها فإنها ترقق القلب. I prevented you before from visiting the graveyard. Now visited because it tender your heart. You understand?
For women too?
Absolutely. The women can go, absolutely no problem. The only thing is, women, if you go and adhere to the Islamic law, absolutely, there is nothing wrong with this. Even when we go and bury somebody, then the notion that women should not go, okay, that's the wrong notion. But as long as woman is in one area and the men in one area, and there is no noises, there is no wailing and stuff like this, absolutely, everybody goes because it has tremendous effect on the heart. Okay.
Because there is a hadith, one of the scholars was describing that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam give lanat to the women who visit the graveyard.
That's not true.
That's not true.
No. This is the original thing, and was not only for women, was for men and women because they were very close to the time of Jahiliyyah. You understand? And the Prophet ﷺ did not want to put them in that situation. Because as a human being, what are you used to do, it's not an easy thing to get rid of. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, do not go. But after this, he allowed everybody to go. Okay? The problem with us, honestly, in every society, not in your society, in every society, we mix a tradition with deen. And it become part of the deen. You understand? آية 20 كلا بل تحبون العاجلة وتذرون الآخرة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say كلا means nay, no, but you love the fleeting, the passing life. تحبون العاجلة. Okay. وتذرون الآخرة, and you abandoned, you forsake, you desert the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows we cannot escape loving dunya. There is nobody love to die. Nobody love to just leave this dunya behind. There is tremendous attraction. There is tremendous love for us for this dunya. And there is nothing wrong with that. The biggest problem is when we love this dunya, loving the dunya is not haram. Absolutely is not haram. But loving the dunya on the expense of the akhirah, that is the detrimental thing. This is the bad thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, كَلَّا بَلْ تُحِبُّونَ الْعَاجِلَةَ وَتَذَرُونَ الْآخِرَةَ. If you love this dunya, but you still care about your akhirah, there is nothing wrong with this. You know that sometimes when we hear أَفَمَنِ اتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ, people who follow their caprice, people who follow their desires, and just when we hear this, we think it's a bad thing. It's not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say اتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ بِغَيْرِ هُدًى مِّنَ اللَّهِ. You understand this? Yes, in our life, we always follow our desires. I want to get married, I want to eat, I want to sleep. These are desires, okay? But if these desires are not controlled by the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the problem. So the desires in themselves, there is nothing wrong with that. But if the desire is all what I care about, and I am doing it regardless what will Allah approve or disapprove, that is the problem. So if من اتبع هواه بغير هدى من الله, if I follow my desires neglecting the huda, the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the problem. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, كلا بل تحبون العاجلة. And this is loving life, like I said, it is something that we cannot escape. Absolutely. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Ali Imran, He say, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ. It was made beautified for people. حب الشهوات من النساء والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث. هذا الله سبحانه He say ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا. This is the joy of this dunya. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not condemn us for doing this. He said, do you want me to tell you something better than that? You understand? So the mu'min, you balance your life, okay? There is nothing wrong. You love your husband, you love your kids, you love money, you love all these things. There is nothing wrong with this. But if I love money to the point that I do not give my zakah, I do not take care of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the problem. But loving the money by itself, there is nothing wrong with this, okay? The problem here is that there is a say in Egyptian, I don't know if this is but he say, if I have one fruit in my hand, it's better than 1,000 in the tree. I don't know, we probably have the same exact thing. And this is the problem with us, because the dunya, the joy of the dunya is here.
We want now.
I have it. I mean, it is within my reach. And you're gonna tell me, wait till you die, and you're gonna have better something like this. If you're smart, yes, that's it. But it is very difficult for people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, تحبون العاجلة. There is nothing wrong about that. وتذرون الآخرة. This is the formula that is very detrimental. Okay. One of the ulama, they ask him, why people love this dunya and they hate death? And he said very easy, because people establish and construct the dunya, but they neglect and abandon the akhirah. So how can I love the akhirah? I love the thing that, so the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that all the fun and all the joy of this dunya is petty, is insignificant, is negligible comparing to the hereafter, okay? And we should not really cast away the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Isra, He said, وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. This is our nature. And you have to understand, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us through a test, He made things beautified in our eyes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that desires, and He give us limitation, and He say, yes, you might suffer some sort of difficulty in this dunya, but think about the reward. You understand this? Always Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. If you do not put on the brakes, you lose. This is the bad thing. When we think and we go after the fun of this dunya alone, in reality, at the end, you lose both of them. You understand? This is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, after He talk about this, He give you a hint of what is waiting for you. Okay? وجوه يومئذ ناظرة. Before I go to there, one of the scholars, he say, العمل الصالح يذهب تعبه ويبقى الثواب والعمل الطالح أو الذنب تذهب لذته ويبقى العقاب. When you go after a quick fix in this dunya, which is haram, the fun and the joy is few seconds, but the punishment lingers. And the opposite thing. When you stick with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there might be a slight hardship, okay? A slight exertion, a slight, struggle. But the good deeds, that struggle fades away and the high reward stays, okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, after He warned us about that, وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها ناظرة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, many faces that day, the day that we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will be glowing, will be radiant faces, okay? إلى ربها ناظرة is going to be gazing, is going to be looking towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the things that when you read the Quran and try to understand it and just take the time and reflect on it, sometimes it's very difficult. It's very difficult to envision that situation. I just want to tell you, how many things in this dunya that attract you very, very hard. You go to a scenic view and you be stunned. You're just looking at things. You look at some faces, beautiful faces, and some people, in Surah Yusuf, when the woman looked at that man and they say, حاشا لله ما هذا بشرا, they really thought that he is an angel. There is tremendous beauty in this dunya that stunned us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said to us, imagine what stunned you in this dunya is my creation. How about if you see me? If the creation of Allah is that beautiful, how about the Creator Himself? You understand this? So, وجوه يومئذ ناظرة. Beautiful faces that you see light coming out of it. And why is that? Because they see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadith في Sahih Muslim, he say, when people enter Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they settle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, يقول الله تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala address them. He say, تريدون شيئا أزيدكم? Do you want anything more than I give you? They say, no. You made our faces radiant. بيضت وجوهنا. ألم تدخلنا الجنة? You entered us to Jannah. And you saved us from the hellfire. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, He said, فيكشف الحجاب. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the veil, it will be lifted from the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هنا فما أعطوا شيئا أحب إليهم من النظر إلى ربهم. All the joy that we talk about in Jannah, it is totally insignificant when it compared to looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ, he say, when people look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people will spend years just looking at Him. And when they go back, people cannot recognize each other. The faces will be different. You understand? It is so overwhelming. Okay? Now, and Allah subhanahu, the Prophet ﷺ, in another hadith, he say, إنكم سترون ربكم كما ترون القمر. You will see Allah. When we were coming today, we saw the moon. Okay? إنكم سترون ربكم. You will see your Lord just as you see the قمر. لا تضامون. You know, when there is a celebrity, you know, this movie star or something like this, and the people scream, and there is stampede, and everybody wants to get a glimpse of him. That doesn't happen with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا تضامون. There is no pushing. There is no stampeding. And you understand? Everybody, when you sit in your comfort, you will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As if we see when we look at the moon, we don't push each other. I mean, everybody in every place in the world, you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the moon. So, لا تضامون. Never face injustice or be deprived. No crowding, pushing or shoving. No stampede, no danger. You're just sitting there looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا تضامون في رؤيته. But here is the end of that hadith. فإذا استطعتم, if you could, ألا تغلبوا على صلاة قبل طلوع الشمس. Who are these people who are going to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? People who pray Fajr. صلاة قبل طلوع الشمس وصلاة قبل غروب الشمس فافعلوا. The Fajr and the Asr. Okay? الصلاة الوسطى. He's giving us all these beautiful things that we're going to see, but he say, be careful, not everybody. People who sleep until sun rises, there is a big question mark. You understand this? When the ulama say something, they say in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, كَلَّا إِنَّهُمْ عَنْ رَبِّهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَمَحْجُوبُونَ. Some people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, say, no, indeed, most surely on that day of judgment, these people shall be veiled from seeing their Lord. The ulama say, the biggest punishment in the hereafter, not to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not the hellfire. The hellfire is nothing comparing to that. Okay? And the biggest reward, not the Jannah. لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا الْحُسْنَى وَزِيَادَةً. وَزِيَادَة is looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, when he say, وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ إِلَى رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ. The word نَاظِرَةٌ is to look at something for some times. Is not, you know, I said I saw the sister, I glimpsed, I saw her face, just quickly. But this is nadira means you take your time. And you satiate your eyes. Okay, this is something. So aswa al-adhab, the one of the joy that we should inspire to that. And Sayyid Qutb rahmatullahi alayhi, one of the Muslim scholars, he say that if people would reflect on that, the soul, our soul, when he say, when I read about that, when I read that I will be seeing Allah on the day after, in the hereafter, he say, my soul is delighted and uplifted, dazzled by the idea. This joy cannot be toppled by anything but the actual seeing. You understand? So he say one of the beautiful thing in my life is to think about that time, that moment. This is, he say this is the joy of my life, that I hope and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me that, and I dream about it. So I am flying high. And he say nothing can topple that, nothing can be higher than that except actually seeing him. You understand that? Okay.
So is everybody in Jannah will see him?
Everybody in Jannah will see him. Absolutely. And everybody in Jannah, he's sitting there. Wallahi, the Quran is so beautiful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always talk about في جنة عالية. Everything is عالية.
Right.
All the Jannah is Ali. But when you are in your Jannah,
You're the top.
you're looking at everything. You understand this? And everybody also is looking at everything. But everybody has that beauty. في جنة عالية. Okay? And in Jannah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the things that's beautiful thing, that inshallah when we meet in Jannah, we're going to remember that. This is something the Prophet ﷺ told the companions. He say when you meet in Jannah, you're going to remember what you did in this dunya, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to get that high prize. And in Jannah, you're sitting there, hopefully with your husband. Okay? I know it's going to be annoying a little bit, but
It's gonna be a noodle, or I'm gonna be a noodle.
when we were in New Jersey, he say one of the scholars came to visit us, and there was a funny guy. He say at Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about us men. How about women? He said your wife will follow you. He said, for heaven's sake, I'm even in Jannah, what kind of Jannah is gonna be? But in Jannah, if you think about the Prophet ﷺ, immediately you visit him. You think about Abu Bakr, you see him, you visit him, and you talk to him. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ إِلَى رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ. On the contrary, وَوُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ بَاسِرَةٌ. There are on that day very sad, dull, dismal wujuh. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about wujuh, He's not talking about the face. He's talking about the face. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about the face, it actually is a reflection on what goes inside the human being. Okay? تظن أن يفعل بها فاقرة. So this group is looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and is flying high, and the other group is dull, okay? Very, very sad, very dismal. تظن أن يفعل بها فاقرة. The word فاقرة, he say realizing they shall be dealt a back-breaking blow. فاقرة العمود الفقري. What's the العمود الفقري?
The spine.
Huh? The spine. The spine is what hold you.
Right.
You understand this? Anything that break that spine, you are broke. You gone. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say the disaster that they're gonna be dealing with is a disaster that break the spine. Okay? تظن أن يفعل بها فاقرة. They realize they shall be dealt a back-breaking blow, a back-breaking calamity about to be inflicted on them. If you look at the Quran, all the time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, I am telling you what you're going to be facing. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنُ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. It is up to you. We have the choices now to do whatever we want to do. But this is what is waiting for us. وَلِكُلِّ مُجْهَةٍ هُوَ مُوَلِّيهَا فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. Every one of us has direction to go to. Every one of us has ihtimamat, that this is what I care about. فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. Don't waste your time on nonsense. Rush to goodness. The ulama say that nobody deny death. Nobody. Everybody knows that this is the end. But the problem is, people do not want to think about it. As if this is something that's not going to happen to me. It just happened to people, not to me. Imam Ahmad, he say, some people say Imam Ahmad, some people say Imam al-Basri, but he said something very, very nice. I'm going to say it in Arabic first. He say, ما رأيت يقينا لا شك فيه أشبه بشك لا يقين فيه إلا الموت. He say, I have not seen certainty that there is no doubt about it, more like a doubted thing, no certainty about it, like death. So people logically, intellectually, death, there is no doubt about it. But when you see people acting, leading their life, there is tremendous doubt about death. You understand? Because when I wake up in the morning, wallahi, I seen somebody send me something today, a clip. A man is in a farah, you know, he's dancing. He's dancing with women and stuff like this, and he dropped dead. Show it. Huh? And the other guy, he died in sujood. 2 pictures. They both died. The guy who was dancing with women and having fun, if he knew, of course he knew, but if he realized, if he envisioned that he could have died at that moment, would he do that? You understand this? So there is no doubt about death, but the way we lead our life as if we tremendously doubted death. Okay? كلا إذا بلغت التراقية. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us the end. He say كلا إذا بلغت التراقي. Yet indeed when the soul reach the collarbone, exiting. كلا إذا بلغت التراقي. Okay? وقيل من راق, and there will be a cry. Who is unhealing? When somebody is dying. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. وقيل من راق. When you know ruqya, you know what the ruqya means? Everybody knows ruqya. Okay. When somebody is dying, everybody's rushing. Can anybody help? There is a doctor. We could call 911. So we rushing to try to save the dead. وظن أنه الفراق. And now it is certain that this is the time to depart. والتفت الساق بالساق. Okay, the legs. Somebody is standing up, and the 2 legs intertwine with each other. خلاص you lose control. إلى ربك يومئذ المساق. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to him is the final drive. one of the poet, he say ولدتك إذ ولدتك أمك باكيا. On the day of your birth, you come out of the womb of the mother crying, but everybody around you is happy and joyful. He say ولدتك إذ ولدتك أمك باكيا والناس حولك يضحكون سرورا. You come crying and everybody is happy. فاعمل ليوم, work for a day, أن تكون في يوم موتك ضاحكا مسرورا. Reverse the situation. Make sure that when you die, people are crying and you are happy. And inshallah, next week we'll continue. We'll continue with the Quran, but inshallah we're gonna talk about Tafseer.